y bienvenidos. Vamos a seguir con el acto 5 de Fontaine, que bueno, ya empezó pisando fuerte, así que vamos a seguir a ver qué se cuece. Antes de nada deciros que tenéis el link en la descripción de mi canal de Discord por si queréis uniros y de mi canal de Twitch, donde ahora mismo estamos en directo. Y ahora sí que sí, adiós. Adiós y ahora es hola. Let's go to Fontaine. Ok.
Looks like we've reached the end.
O sea, tengo tenido la pinta de que Arlequino nos ha traído aquí para entretenernos.
This is the place. There should not be any other hidden spaces in the vicinity.
The path sure had some twists and turns, but it turns out that this place isn't actually that big.
Stone slates. It seems like they were put here as an offering.
Esa es medio furina,
Could we take them
100%.
down and have a
Y aquella
look?
de allí también.
Perhaps we should just leave them be for now.
There are 4 locations in total, but only 3 stone slates. The slate that should be in the first empty spot is missing.
The surrounding walls also show signs of damage.
There's something written below. Let Paimon see. Reason dictates that this nation be destroyed. I shall
It feels like someone left these slates and these words here for a purpose. But does he mean that Fontaine should be
That would fit the circumstances dictated by the prophecy, yes. Indeed, the slate's contents correspond to it. Take the second slate, for example.
There's a person kneeling here. She seems so dedicated. And there's a whole bunch of other
Una
people
isla
behind
suspendida
her
en el
doing
aire.
the same. She's facing this.
And is that Lady Farina in the third image? Did the Hydro Archon fall into the water?
And is that a ring of people around her? Paimon doesn't quite get.
The fourth image. I know this one. This exactly matches the content of the...
The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain.
Celestia, sí lo he pensado. ¿Qué estás haciendo?
More information should be hidden in these slates, but I fear I cannot easily uncover it, most likely due to us missing the first slate.
Don't blame yourself, Monsieur Neuvillette. Deciphering ancient stones...
Ooh, Paimon's getting the chills just looking at these slates. This says that it's the history of the future, right? That means the prophecy's sure to come true.
I really hope it doesn't mean that.
Still, Paimon feels like these images are kind of...
That's right! If the images are in chronological order, shouldn't the fourth, the waters drowning Fontaine, come before the third, where the Hydro Archon herself falls into the water?
And yet the order is reversed here.
If we go by timing, Lady Farina only emerges in the third image. That means that the person in the second image might be the previous Hydro Archon.
Egeria, then. I had never met her, but her appearance here does match the records. The previous Archon kneeling before the floating island in the skies, as if confessing a sin.
Did she herself commit that sin? Also, I'm still wondering why these ancient stone slates are here at all. Judging from their contents, could this place be the origin of the prophecy?
But who would have created these slates and left these words here?
Muy buena pregunta, Paimon. Ahora dice, no fui yo. Te imaginas. Paranoia de tía.
It seems that any further clues will have to come from Farina.
Neuvillette, ¿tú nunca has hablado de Furina sobre eso? Después de ¿cuántos años tienes? ¿400?
In that case, there's no time to lose.
Creo que es una
There's
pregunta
nothing
que no
else to be
debería
gained here,
preguntaros,
so
pero
let's head back
Furina
first.
estuvo en la Guerra de los Arcontes.
Yeah, we better get somewhere safe for now.
Too slow.
No respondemos. Déjalo dentro. Joder, sí, solo he hecho
Let's
una
split up
pregunta.
here. I'm going to check on what's happening with the Spina. You know how it is. There's some things you just need to be there for yourself.
You still have energy for that, Navia? Paimon's already beat.
Just head back to the Fleuve Cendre and have a rest then. Thanks for keeping me company all this time.
I'll depart as well. Thanks for your hard work today. Rest well, everyone. Traveler, I will go talk to Farina tomorrow morning to ask about the stone slates.
Uy, buena decisión, Neuvillette.
I'm sure that you're concerned about this matter as well.
Claro
If you
que
have
sí.
time, drop
Claro
by
que
my
me diga.
office. I will share the results.
Are you really gonna talk to her about this directly? Will that be a problem?
She has long been harboring secrets and will not give them up easily, which makes it all the more my duty to ensure that she understands the present situation.
Alright, we'll leave it in your hands then. You're probably the best person to talk to her anyway.
I will be carefully considering my words tonight.
Traveler, Paimon, our safe house at the Fleuve Cendre is always open to you as ever. So please don't think you're an imposition.
Mendigando un lugar para dormir, tío.
All right. I'll be on my way then.
Río Ceniciento.
We're finally back!
Welcome back. We've got a special menu prepared for you.
Yay! And there's good food too! Navi, no. Ooh, desserts! Nice! These are all Paimons!
Yo pensaba que la tetera era Cano y ahí dormíamos. Es que se supone que sí, ¿no? Lo que pasa es que en el lore principal nunca aparece que tengamos la tetera.
Paimon's already starting to forget what happened today.
¿Mona? ¿Mona? ¿Qué cojones? ¿Qué cojones? ¿Qué cojones? ¿Qué cojones? ¿Qué cojones hace esta señora aquí? Me dijiste que no aparece en la historia. ¡Qué mentirosos sois! Sois unos mentirosos.
Oh, that voice. Is that who I think it is? Huh?
Por cierto, no sé si recuerdas una pregunta que nos hiciste hace un tiempo de que si en una misión de Arconte veríamos a personajes pasados de otra región, pues aquí es la primera. Por eso he dicho que me habíais mentido. Si lo decíamos era spoiler. Pues jaja, ni me acordaba. Por eso os he dicho mentirosos todos.
It's you two. What are you doing in Fontaine?
Con el outfit cambiado. Tiene el otro outfit.
Mona?
Así me quedo yo, Paimon. ¿Mona?
Seriously, nobody just uses a scry glass whenever they've got time to just see who they'll meet on the road. Still, we didn't expect to see you here. Wait,
No,
you're
no
not a
te gusta.
Fontanian. Well, I have some business to attend to here, so I booked a hotel in the city. I was just out for a stroll. Why did you think I was from Fontaine, though? Is that because Magistus doesn't sound much like a Mondstadt surname? Yeah, let's go with that.
Donde hay comida gratis siempre hay una mona.
Well, I used to have my own surname, which was, well, some other thing. Either way, the old hag told me when she took me as her disciple that the first step to being a great astrologist's pupil was to change. There was nothing for it, really. She really is amazing at astrology, so I changed my name to what it is now according to her wishes.
It isn't?
Nope. Although it is used by us in place of surnames, it generally just means great.
Wow! Imagine including a boast in your name.
I reckon so. In any case, I'd give my disciple a name like this as well, if I were to take one. Astromancer Barbeloth Trismegistus.
Barbelos. Ya hemos escuchado de ella, ¿no?
Whoa, that's a long one. Does it also mean...
My name means Mona the Great Astrologist. As for the old hag, hers is, in plain speech, the thrice as great Scholar of the Stars. Just take it as a title specific to astrologists.
Una de las brujas de la clase, sí. Dani, para mentirse necesitan dos personas mínimo, una que mienta y otra que lo crea. Son tan culpables como los demás. Igual calculo que llegaste a la misma impresión.
Thrice as great? That's so petty.
I know, right? That's just how she is. She used to call herself Megistus, actually, but when she took...
Talk about excessive.
Megistus is thus the calling card of our school, so to speak, which makes it about the same as a surname. It's all right if you don't get it. You can look into it further should you need to study astrology more deeply.
That sounds terrible! But anyway, you're not Fontanian, are you?
Well, I was born in Mondstadt, yes. My parents migrated to Dormanport, and I traveled with the old hag for a while after...
Oh, that's a good thing then. At least we know you won't be dissolved by Fontaine's waters.
Speaking of that, I'm sure you're aware that a bunch of things have happened here in Fontaine, right? I know you're not a local, but I'd avoid getting too close to any water that looks strange all the same. There's something ominous about it. Well, the water, I mean. That was the main reason, yes. Just a while back, the Steambird invited me to take part in a panel and speak about the circulation of the prophecy as an astrologist.
Para que diera mi opinión de astróloga sobre la profecía.
The invitation was sent quite early on. I don't think anyone expected Fontaine to be in this much trouble.
What do you make of that prophecy, Mona? Just tell us what you think as an astrologist. Your word would go a long way to make...
What I can tell you is that I'm an astrologist, and that this prophecy concerns the fate of Fontaine, even that of Altivat. I'm afraid that this is not something that just anyone can do. But on the flip side, the prophecy is so huge and powerful that it must surely come from a powerful visionary. Its contents involve the fate...
A visionary? Sounds really powerful and all, but...
Of course. The old hag could do it, and I'd bet there are others amongst those Hex and Zirkle colleagues of hers who could do something similar. Huh? Are you sure? All right, I'll help you. It isn't all...
Thanks, Mona! You're amazing as always!
Oh, well, this is something only I can do after all.
That's the greatest of astrologists for you! Of all the people we know, you know the star's the best!
Bueno.
Indeed.
Oh, sorry. I came to see what all the commotion was about. If there's anything you need, do not hesitate to inform the Spina di Rosula.
Mona es tu competencia por el trotamundo, Dani, no te dejes. Esa será mentira, ¿no?
Oh, whoops. Guess we were getting a little too carried away there. Well, I'll go tend to my own business now. If I receive any need...
And there she goes, quick as rushing water. And here we are with the Spina guy giving us suspicious looks. Right, but we were able to recruit Mona's help, didn't we?
La
Our
Mona nos habrá
Fontanian
ido
friends
sin
will
pagar,
thank
¿no?
us
Para
someday.
devolvernos lo que hicimos, ¿no? Es decir, que Paimon se comiera muchísima comida y le dejamos pobre.
Good morning. To be honest, Paimon's
Vas a
still
conocer a
feeling
Barberoch.
sleepy.
¿No te intriga conocer a Primera Bruja en persona? Es que no me da la sensación de que la vayamos a conocer en persona. O sea, siempre he tenido la sensación de que el tema de brujas era totalmente independiente al lore principal y que nunca se iba a hablar del tema, ni nunca íbamos a tener un contacto directo en la misión de Arconte con tema brujas. Por eso me he impactado más cuando he visto a Mona. Porque lo he asociado el tirón a la bruja. Ya no vamos a volver a ver a Mona, estoy segura, tío. Es que verás, ahora nos vamos a ir con Neuvillette y adiós Mona. Eso ha sido para dejarnos la miel en los labios con el tema brujas, venga ya. Sí, que nos la han colado. Gracias por seguirme. Nos la han colado.
Too slow.
Neuvillette.
The wind.
¿Sabéis quién es la mamá de QUÉ? Danii, sí, Alice.
You're here.
Otra de las brujas.
Is something wrong?
Y también está la mamá de Albedo, Oro. Y otra creo, no me acuerdo. Hoy se llega a los 2000 seguidores a este paso. Di que sí, di que sí. Muchas cosas han cambiado desde Fontaine, cosas que no esperábamos. A eso es a lo que me refería al principio del directo, al principio del primer capítulo. Que hablando de las teorías y todo ese rollo, no sabría deciros porque en Fontaine es como que han cambiado todo absolutamente radical porque están ocurriendo cosas que nunca había pensado que en Genshin iba a ocurrir, ya que se pensaba a lo mejor, uy, pues en tanto es posible que... y nunca lo han hecho. Entonces ya no te esperas X cosas y de repente te sorprenden. Así que... eso quizás no lo sabes porque fue en un evento pasado, pero las 7 brujas se fueron contra 20 y no pidieron. ¿Cómo que no pidieron? Sí, me habéis contado algo de que hubo un evento de brujas con, bueno, en el tema de la mesa y todo ese rollo para algo así, es que no me acuerdo muy bien. Pudieron. Ah, se fueron contra 20 y no pudieron. ¿Eso es real? Sí, ¿no? Bueno, sigo.
Monsieur Neuvillette and Lady Farina, they seem to have gotten
Están
into a
discutiendo,
dispute.
salseo,
Please go see for
salseo.
yourself.
Y encima nos ha dicho que si queremos entrar, ¿cómo que no, Paimon? Venga ya, para adentro. Venga ya, Paimon.
Like I said, I've already explained everything.
Nos han dicho que si queremos entrar, ¿no? Entren y vean. ¿Ve?
And yet the problem has not been properly solved. There is little space for excuses between us. It is not my intention to offend you, but please tell me where you stand. Look at this. This is a list of the victims.
You mean they're all...
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster, and I will not have it happen again. I will say this once more. You must tell me everything you know.
Dilo, Furiera.
Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates in some ancient ruins near Poisson. Do you know anything about those?
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. But you found them in some...
That's correct, which is why I came to ask you some questions. There should have been 4 slates, but one of them was missing.
The prophecy...
The
Furina,
second of
habla,
these
tía,
slates depicts the
habla.
previous Hydro Archon Egeria kneeling before a floating island in the sky, as if confessing something. Do you...
I don't. I've never seen such...
Mentira.
I'll ask you again. Do you really have no information regarding the previous... My deciphering of the slates indicates that the Hydro Archon Egeria once had to confess to, or apologize for, a certain sin. If anyone would know about it, it should be you.
El arconte Hydro Egeria se tuvo que disculpar o reconocer su culpa por haber hecho algo.
All gods don't have the same secrets, you know. She was herself and I'm me. Is it really so strange that I understand your concerns, but...
Mentirosa.
I'm sorry.
Forgive me for saying this now, Lady Farina, but I have long known of your various secret investigations into certain matters. There are several indications that you have been investigating the prophecy on the sly. This is not strange in itself, considering that you are the Hydro Archon. But it is strange that you should also claim to not know any of Egeria's secrets,
Gracias por
as
seguirme.
well as do nothing following your... You have never been as superficial as you have presented yourself to be, nor are you a fool. And yet, your behavior is very inconsistent.
Tu comportamiento no es coherente.
Watching me all this time, have you? I didn't think you were that type. Well, since you know about my secret investigations, then you should know I'm actually working to take care of it. There's no point questioning or suspecting me. You're the Eudix, but you're still my subordinate. You should be just trust in me. You're Archon and do as I say. Never mind
Buena
whether
sabe
you can
que
truly convince
Neuvillette
yourself to or
es
not.
el rey
It'll all turn out fine.
dragón hidro, ¿no? Pues si no, esta está hablando lo que no debería.
That's all I have to say. We do not discuss this matter. Oh, the opera's about to start. Toodles!
Did Farina not notice us standing by the door? Wonder what's up with her. She was smart.
I assume you've been outside for a while now?
Oh, you noticed.
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Our discussion reached impasses time, still I do not understand. Dialogue is the basis for understanding, so everyone in her inner circle has noticed that she is hiding some secret. The issue is her attitude. We may have to create a situation in which she will have no choice but to speak.
Oh? Like what?
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing trial.
Oh,
Perhaps we must have the Hydro
me
Archon
dijiste que quedaba un
experience just
juicio.
such a scenario.
Vamos a tener un juicio. Os dije, la única que se me viene a la cabeza es un juicio contra Furina. Pero raro, ¿no? Plan, no me esperaba que iba a pasar, pero parece que sí, ¿no?
But Farina's seen so many trials, and she's really good at dodging questions. How do we make sure that she won't just slip away at the first chance she gets?
We will need to consider this thoroughly, join forces with various parties, and then do what we can. If at all possible, I would prefer to recuse myself from this affair, but we must prevent the prophecy from coming to pass. This may be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is in crisis. The information a god possesses is too precious, and so we must take a chance on this. But who will lend us their aid to do such a thing?
La vamos a poner contra la espalda de la pared. La vamos a poner contra la espalda de la pared.
Well, that's everyone, huh? Speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
¿Dónde estamos?
Poisson was just involved in a disaster, so it's presently devoid of people. That naturally makes it the best choice.
And here you are drinking tea like it's the most
That's what families should do. Sit and enjoy a leisurely time.
It's nice to enjoy tea here, you know? Care for a cup?
Lend me your ears, everyone.
Bueno, se viene Tim, ¿no?
Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off.
Vienes
How
de
about
salvar
you,
a un
friend?
arconte de la región anterior, ahora quieres juzgar y condenar a un arconte. Vaya, sí. Uno cambia rápido lo ideal.
Me?
Then, how about you, good sir?
Estamos en una reunión de cafecitos.
I fear that I will cause the mood on this boat to become as somber as it is in court.
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize things.
That was a little
Sabía
long-winded,
que iba a
don't you
haber
think?
Tim,
Oh, you might be right.
pero no me esperaba que estuviera
Anyway.
Trollin, de verdad.
To cut to the chase, our friend here, the traveler, has... As for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be pooling our efforts together to create a series of traps.
Oh, how intriguing.
Well, it's just an expression, really. One that I just learned from Chlorand. And used on the spot. So, let's invite her to explain.
Huh? Didn't you say that you would be facilitating this?
Clorinde, maravilloso.
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance to practice.
I see. And what does my boss say?
He is glad that you consider him your boss.
In that case, do any of you have experience
Clorinde,
hunting?
God.
Not that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we were younger. As for Lynette,
I've also gone diving to catch some fish before.
¿Por qué tan
Does
triste
that count?
Fremine, tío?
I'm afraid not. You may or may not have heard, but Fontaine once played host to
Me
a group
suena
known
el
as the
nombre.
Marechaussee, though that was their name.
No sé si es de otra
They did not
cosa lo que
hunt
sea, pero me suena.
animals, but rather various monsters left behind by the ancient dynasty of King Remus. Today, Fontaine's monster population has already thinned greatly, so the hunters have blended back into society, taking up arms in other lines of war. A trap comprises of the following components: bait, a trigger, and a containment device. Sometimes a lethal implement will also be... So, if we were to build a trap together, right now, what would you choose to build it with?
for me, I would prefer something basket-shaped. Pigeons and rabbits will see the bait and naturally enter Our line of work requires a deft hand, and we're some of the best in the industry, so you can count on our techniques.
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson, didn't you? My subordinates mentioned that you even performed some magic for the bawling children.
Yes, and I even managed to gather some intelligence in the meantime. I'm quite the multitasker if I do say so myself.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong suit. I prefer more stable methods, like placing bait in the water and waiting for the fish to come within reach.
Calm and steady. Exactly the kind of person who would catch loads of fish.
And I can be their assistant.
With discretion, I'm sure.
I'd probably use some sort of mechanical animal. Papa once bought me some small clockwork squirrels, mice, and such. When placed in the forest, they can attract others of their kind. I remember that you liked those too, didn't you?
I did. And that would be a good way to go about it. If they're realistic enough, animals of the same kind will follow them all the way to the trap.
What about you, Monsieur Neuvillette?
I fear I do not have any related experience.
That makes sense. You usually solve problems directly, without the use of any such tricks. But I do have one more question for you, Monsieur. If we were to create a trap now, how would you design it?
I would like for it to be effective, but bring no harm to the prey.
Kind, as always. However, our intention doesn't necessarily change the containment device and the type of implement we need. If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes for prey that must be captured and safely contained.
Wait, why's that?
Only a hunter who's a true expert at subduing their prey can snare it without harming it. The line that divides life and death.
So, are we going hunting together?
Huh. We hadn't thought of seeing ourselves as hunters.
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on trial, then the hunting metaphor is actually quite accurate. But we shall require much more courage than any hunter to judge a god, a being whose seat is an exalted...
Oh, so that's what's going on. Sounds very interesting.
Muy interesante. lo dejan ahí por si acaso, ¿sabes? Ok.
following me.
Vuelve Mona, dime que vuelve Mona, por favor.
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it? Paimon didn't think the meetings would go on
Yo no
for
sé
so
por qué me
long, but everyone
autoconvenzo a
seemed
mí
pretty
misma de que
fired up,
vamos a
huh?
ver a Mona cuando ya no va a volver ya no va a volver. Ya nos dejan ahí. Nos van a
Paimon
dejar
thought
ahí.
they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon thinks about it, but everyone else just looked a little, well, it's hard to say. Paimon doesn't have any experience with this sort of thing. But after all, you're the most reliable person in the world, aren't you? Did you just pour some tea? Paimon didn't, what's that? Paimon's never seen that cup before.
Qué bonita.
Don't be frightened. I'm just joining you two for tea.
Who's that voice?
Ah, have you forgotten me already?
Es la misma que nos habló al final de la misión del Trotis. No sé si me explico. ¿La misión del Trotis fue? Sí, ¿no? ¿No fue la misión del Trotis cuando terminó? Sí, lo de la taza de Paimon que se cayó al suelo y ella nos dijo cosas. Ah, esa no fue, pero es otra y ya la conocí. Vale, o sea, el nombre no lo sabía, pero bueno, cuando ha dicho te acuerdas de mi voz, digo, es la misma. ¿No? Vale.
Wait, you are familiar. You're the voice we heard from the sky in Sumeru.
The voice from the sky,
Es que la escuché en
I fear
japonés,
that
creo.
description is wrong.
Por eso ahora mismo no me
Though,
entiendo demasiado.
not... You're feeling lost now, just as you were feeling previously. Consider me a passerby, just accepting a commission from my friend's disciple on a whim. The prophecy. Yes,
N.
what has been prophesized will be fulfilled. You may
Está
use
A,
such
que es
things
Alice.
as the
Vale,
history
espera.
of the future.
Está A, que es Alice. B, que es Barbeloch. Y N, juraría, corrígeme si me equivoco, que también empieza por A. Pero, como vino Alice, o como estaba Alice primero, se tuvo que poner N. Y no A. Que eso creo que lo dijeron en el evento de verano de este verano, que no me acuerdo ahora mismo el nombre, lo de... Sí, eso, que no me acuerdo. Simulanca. ¿Estoy en lo cierto o ya estoy mezclando diferentes brujas? Siempre que veas esa taza es que ella está o ha estado presente, por eso se cree que puede ser la madre de Diluc, porque está en el viñedo. O sea, esa taza está en el viñedo. Qué loco, ¿no?
What? Then is
¿Qué te ha dicho? Lo predecido se cumplirá, con toda seguridad. De hecho, pueden verla como la historia del futuro.
I believe you have witnessed a failed attempt with your own eyes. Can everything in Teyvat so easily
Eso que has dicho
be
pasa con
changed?
J. Esta es N o también llamada Nicole. Vale. Vale, es que solo reconozco como tal a Alice, que es la madre de Klee, Barbeloch, que me la habéis dicho, que es la maestra de Mona, y luego había otra que decía que también empezaba por A, pero que no se podía poner la A por Alice. Eso se me ha quedado en la cabeza. Entonces me habéis dicho que esa es J y N es Nicole, vale. Y habéis dicho antes que son 7 brujas, ¿no? ¿De verdad crees que las cosas en Teyvat pueden cambiar tan fácilmente?
Ah, so you've caught on. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, happening in hidden corners where the god's gaze does not fall,
Podrías haber cosas sucediendo en puntos ciegos que dichos dioses no alcanzan a ver.
are the things that you shall see different from the fate that the gods perceive.
What is she talking about? It all sounds really impressive and important and stuff, but it also sounds kind of scary.
I believe that you understand, right? Some things are insignificant, but others you must reach out to change. Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide,
no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. All you need to do... This was good tea, by the way. Thank you for your hospitality.
Joder.
Well, that'll be all for today.
Qué corto. Qué corto.
Alright, coming! Hey, it's you who's getting lazy, okay?
Well, I see I've walked in on some lively banter.
Mona!
Fine, just fine. I went to take part in that Steambird panel. It turned out to be more... Not all Fontainians are pessimistic about this. One journalist mentioned that sitting around and waiting for the end to come would be wrong, and that they should make their own rescue preparations. I agreed, so we had a brief chat with her.
Did she have pink hair by any chance?
Why, yes, it was Charlotte. I assume you've heard of her, no? I'm in full support of her view. Prophecies are very important, but how can people allow their lives to be commandeered by just a few words?
That's right! Paimon's glad to hear something sensible for once.
Ten muy en cuenta lo que te ha dicho del destino y que este no se puede cambiar, pero sí variar algo. Que es muy complicado que las cosas en Teyvat cambien.
Ah, yes. About what we had discussed before. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't reach the old hag. I'll try again tonight, but... Huh? Goodness gracious. Are you serious?
She said that even the god's gaze has blind spots. Pretty bold if you ask Paimon. Most people would...
The Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the mage named N, the old hag has mentioned her a few times. She said that... But I've never met her. And if she were still alive, she'd be... Well, suffice it to say that the hag's at least a few hundred now, and N's been around for longer...
Whoa. The Hexen Circle sounds like a scary group. But they must really stay...
Their abilities alone are pretty terrifying. If she came to see you personally, then the problem you're facing must truly be of great importance.
Well, it's not like Paimon could understand anything she said.
Yes, she was quite cryptic, but I suspect she means that there is still a way to turn things around. She didn't say when or what that would be, though, so... Perhaps it is something that you cannot know right.
Sus explicaciones son muy crípticas, pero supongo que te diría que aún puede haber un giro en los eventos, aunque no dijo ni cuándo ni qué ocurrirá. ¿Será algo que tú y yo de ahora no puedes saber? Puede pasar. Como que las brujas no son normales y son las más normales de Teyvat. Pero ¿cuándo entenderemos su valor significado?
Traveler, Paimon, are you two all right?
Oh, we're fine. We're just a little down right now. It kind of feels like the end is coming, you know?
Parece que el fin del mundo de verdad va a llegar, dice.
I see. I guess you could consider me someone who has often witnessed fate. But even so, I still hope for and believe in miracles. Astrology is eternal and rational. Perhaps that's what N was trying to tell you. Not to lose heart, and to believe that what you are seeing playing out before you... I did originally think of steering clear of all this, but I couldn't. Even if this is all futile, I still wish to help everyone. If we don't struggle to the last, then...
Huh. You do have a point.
There I go, talking about astrological principles again. Sorry about that. The moment I start talking, it was worth trying to comfort you, even if only a little. I believe that you'll help those who are struggling in the same way I did. I suppose that might be why we always seem to meet by coincidence.
Paimon feels kind of moved by what Mona said.
Ah,
but
antes me habíais
also
dicho
kinda sad
que
too.
compito con Mona por Trotamundos, ¿no? Y claro, por un momento he dicho, ¿en qué momento se podrían encontrar Mona y Trotamundos? Pero es que la primera aparición de Trotamundos realmente fue con la primera aparición de Mona en un evento en la ¿cuándo? 1.1 o por ahí, con lo del cielo, el cielo falso y todo ese rollo. ¿Verdad? Es verdad. No me acordaba de ese evento.
Hey, traveler. Paimon suddenly feels like going outside for a walk. Let's walk around the city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk by.
Por favor, quiero Lore. Por favor, no me entretengas con... quiero el juicio de Furina ya. No me entretengas, por favor.
Huh? Our names are written in the... Let
No
Paimon
hemos hecho
see!
famosas sin saberlo. Llevan siendo famosas desde las heroínas de Mondstadt.
The underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meripede, has continued in its noble autonomy. But that does not mean that others can... My recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Huh. Thus, did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report? A blind adventurer with their white fairy, legends trailing in their wake. So while the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, do not... Journalist Charlotte's biggest scoop yet. The Traveler's Trail, World Walker. Huh. Charlotte took so many awesome photos of
Por
us.
cierto,
And we
¿sabes
never
que
even
Mona sabe
noticed
quién es
them.
Venti en realidad? Porque una vez intentó leerle el futuro y descubrió que era el Arconte Nemo, aunque Venti le dijo que se callara. ¿Y eso cómo lo sabéis? ¿Por las líneas de voz o qué?
She hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress, so since we're easier to find, she's using us as the subject matter instead? Ugh, seriously? Well, fine. Those headlines and photos do look cool, so Paimon will forgive her this time.
Mira, Dani, hay moneda para tetera ahí al lado. Vamos. ¿Dónde? Ah, mira. Uy. ¿Hay libro? ¿Esto es importante? ¿Algo de esto? Si no, no compro, que no, me falta dinero, la verdad. No me sobra para nada. ¿Habéis dicho una de las líneas de voz? Y yo tengo la Mona aquí. ¿Dónde ir aquí, no? A ver. Sobre Albedo Lili Venti. Venti, el bardo que no hace nada en todo el día. ¿Qué tiene de interesante una persona así? Bueno, supongo que puedo echar un vistazo a su... ¿Qué es esto? No veo nada. ¿Cómo puede hacer este viento de repente? No puedo abrir los ojos. Ah, mi sombrero, mi ropa, socorro. El viento va a arruinar mi ropa. Para, por favor, no volveré a hacerlo, lo juro. ¿Qué cojones? ¿Qué cojones? Ay, qué guay. Esto es algún... Hay que... es importante las cosas hechas, Very important. Por cierto, me dijisteis algo de que mirara las de Furina, a ver si se me habían abierto. Vale, la que no es sobre la visión. Liné y Linette, Neuvillette, Charlotte, Clorinde. No, solo me deja ver Río y Arlequino y Navia. Venti la pilló y hizo que se cagara. La primera vez que lo leo. Bueno, lo he leído yo porque lo tapa, pero bueno. Mejor línea de voz o comentarios Raiden acerca de Ito. No puede, no, creo que no, todavía no tengo la... No tengo todavía la amistad con Raiden para eso. ¿Ves? Nivel de amistad 4. Solo quiero mirar las líneas de voz de los arcontes, que la verdad que está bastante interesante, parece. Ok, eso, sigue caminando. ¿Qué dice de Arle? Dice básicamente que no sabe quién es Arle, que no sabe quién es esa persona, que si recordara quién es tendría pesadillas. Pero cara, uno de los que más lore tiene en su línea de voz es Neuvillette. Bueno, tendré que conseguirlo para leer su línea de voz.
only 16 slices a day cake! It was so delicious the last time we tried it. Despite the tense situation we were in, let's give it another go. Paimon,
1 slice of cake, please.
Someone showed up after all.
Supongo que por el encuentro cuando Arle le intentó quitar la noz y se quedó traumada. Sí, tiene que ser por eso.
Oh, wait, you're the one from the Palais Mermonia.
Oh, are you here to buy cake too? It seems Monsieur Neuvillette was right.
Wait, did he really say something like that?
That's right. Even he has his own preferences when it comes to food. As for me, I love the cake and
Me
coffee
encantan
here.
los movimientos que les han puesto a las melucinas.
Do
Son
you
muy...
come here often?
No sé. No sé si sabes a lo que me refiero.
Every day?
En plan, es como que los humanos son más... Pero las melucinas son muy... No
It's
sé.
part of my daily schedule, apart from work. I shall have my cake.
Then what if someone told you one day that this place would be closing soon, and you wouldn't get to eat?
But why would it close?
Well, Paimon doesn't know either, but maybe the waters will rise tomorrow.
Oh, the prophecy. To be honest, I haven't paid much attention to that. No, still, even if there'd be no more cake tomorrow, that wouldn't keep me... No. It's the same for eating in general. You might not be able to eat tomorrow, but if you can do so today, then you should carry on.
Huh.
Don't be sad. Excuse me, could I have 2 more
Me
slices
imagino
of
que
cake
sus
to
manos
go?
sean como llevar manoplas.
These 2 slices are for you. Sijuin said that this kind of expression you're making is what humans call being sad.
Oh, you know Sijuin?
I sure do. She was born before
Es
me,
mayor
and she
que yo.
sometimes comes to the surface to
Pues,
teach us things about
Decir
humans.
que es muy pequeña, no sé qué, venga ya.
She said that humans are creatures that are saddened easily. Yes, and you can only lift their spirits by feeding them delicious food. I've got something else to do, so I'll be going now.
Qué monas son las melucinas, tío.
And there she goes. All right, let's dig in. Paimon's sure this cake will... It's more delicious than last time! And the flavor gets even... Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious food here.
Mayor que ella por 2 meses, sí.
Too slow.
Oh, we're near the Steambird office. Let's go look for Charlotte and...
¿Y dónde está? No me ha salido. No me jodas. Ah. No me jodas. ¿En serio?
Squall and Fury.
Ya está. Muchas gracias. ¿Se me ha abierto qué? Ah. Vale.
Wow! If it isn't the traveler in
Pero no te aparece la experiencia fluida.
Have you seen the article I
No me
wrote about
aparece
you?
cuando son misiones normales, en plan terciaria por ahí. O diarias. No sé por qué, tío. ¿Qué me pasa?
You've got some nerve! You just used us to make some quick mora!
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I heard that you were in Poisson some time back, so I sent you a letter to... It's all right, though. I've set aside the amount intended for you. I've even set the table with some food.
De verdad, qué tacañas que son. La dejaron pobre en su momento y encima ahora vienen a pedirle el dinero a Charlotte.
Really? Oh, you're the best!
You're almost a little too easy to win over, Paimon. If I were a journalist with ulterior motives...
Oh, Paimon knows you're not like that.
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden? Were you looking...
A friend of ours met you a while back, and when she mentioned it, we thought of coming to see...
Ah, so you know Miss Mona as well. She's a guest columnist for our paper. Really? So she mentioned me? What did she say?
She said that you're a real daredevil of a journalist.
Nice. In which case, can this daredevil journalist dare to request an exclusive interview with...
Huh? So your article in the paper today doesn't count?
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography. What I'd like to do is dive deeper and ask you to talk about the things you've seen and
Yeah, are we
Pero
even
no ahora.
qualified enough?
No tengo tiempo
not?
ahora.
If I say you're worth an interview, then you're worth it. But not right now, of course.
Claro,
I'll need
claro.
a few days to prepare.
Oh, in that case,
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! I'll tell the editor-in-chief. Whew, so much to get done now.
Pero esto ahora mismo
Talk
no
to
me
you
interesa,
later.
gracias. Sí, nos vemos, Charlotte.
wait,
si
Charlotte,
te vuelves a mi
Paimon's still got a
cuenta.
question for you.
And what's that?
If, just for example, Fontaine were to be flooded tomorrow?
Huh. That's the prophecy you're talking about, isn't it? I mean, I do hear about it often. If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to leave Fontaine. Oh, but I'm still a journalist first and foremost. That means I have a duty to be reporting from the scene. And secondly, I wouldn't forsake my homeland that easily.
Recuerda que por un evento conoces a Charlotte desde antes de Fontaine, o sea, se conocen más de lo que ves. Sí, sí, lo sé. O sea, juraría que cuando terminé el IOE o cuando terminé Mondstadt, me salió una misión terciaria por ahí de llevarle no sé qué a Charlotte. Y tenía que ir a Fontaine. A ver, nunca fui cuando llegué ya a Fontaine, que me apareció por la cara. Pero apareció en Mondstadt o Liyue, y yo flipando. Digo, ¿en serio me están mandando ya a Fontaine con esta señora?
From what I've
O sea,
seen,
pero
most
os
people
estáis
don't
refiriendo
know
a
what
un
they do
evento
should the worst come to
normal.
pass.
Pero yo me estoy
In truth,
refiriendo
it
a
might be
no
better
tiene
just
que
to
ver
behave like normal rather
sí.
than worry
O
over
sea,
such
sé
an
que os
end.
referíais a un evento porque me lo habéis mencionado varias veces, pero lo que me extraña es que apareciera esa misión terciaria al terminar Mondstadt o Liyue para ir a Fontaine. No sé si es para desbloquear el mapa de Fontaine como tal o no sé.
So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview of ours. I know what you're thinking. That sounds a bit sad, but I've always believed that it's best to do what you enjoy. Just think about it. If this nation really were to be suddenly destroyed tomorrow, but I still successfully finish an exclusive interview with a truly unique person, then the story I would wind up writing would truly be
Creo que
timeless.
tus pastillas son raras. Que no, lo juro, en serio. Si no, busco pruebas en mis primeros vídeos de YouTube. Seguro que está.
And then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that story, send it for printing, and use messenger pigeons to get copies out to the various nations as soon as possible. I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic, but I do love my job, and I'd be proud of leaving such an article behind.
Es un objeto.
I guess
¿sí?
you could say
O sea,
that
iba para
I was
que me
born
diera
to be a journalist.
un objeto.
But anyway, that's my answer. And on that note, I'll get back to my preparations.
O sea, te había dicho
That's
que he pasado bien un
so-
poco, la verdad. Bueno, le ha preguntado que qué haría si mañana se muriera, básicamente.
Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we?
Quiere hacer la destrucción de su nación, una historia.
The sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty soothing. Paimon's been thinking. If it wasn't Fontaine, but all of Tevat that would be destroyed tomorrow, where would we go
Otro
and what
mundo.
would we do?
¿Nos está diciendo algo, Paimon? Pero eso fue después de que saliese Fontaine. Sí, sí, ya. Lo fijo es que salió cuando iba a salir Kirara. O sea, que la conocimos, se supone que la conocimos en un evento y todavía no había salido Fontaine. Qué loco. Qué guay. O sea, conocimos a Charlotte antes de llegar a Fontaine. O sea, antes de que se anunciara Fontaine. Si no es Fontaine, sino Tate va entero lo que es destruido, ¿a dónde iríamos y qué haríamos? ¡Qué preguntón! ¿Os imagináis que eso es lo que pasara? Sería muy boom.
No, Paimon should ask, if you could choose, what would you like to do?
Dani llegó cuando salió Arlequino. Sí, exactamente.
We've always been moving to the next destination, so we haven't spent much time thinking about these kinds of things. We didn't have to either. You mean, still traveling? Huh. Wait, isn't that what we've always
Paimon nos
been
está
doing?
diciendo que puede salir. Pero Paimon nos está diciendo ¿Y si Teyvat fuera destruido? ¿Y si se destruye Teyvat y nos vamos a otro lado? Todo parece ir bien, dice. Todo parece ir bien.
Feels like you'll grow mold if you stay. But it's still better than the Fortress of Mirapede, that's for sure. It's not only damp there, but salty too.
Ah, so the two of you are still here.
Oh, you're from the Palais Mermonia, aren't you?
Yes, I'm Isadora. Monsieur Neuvillette sent me to look for you two before. I heard that after... Not at all. I'm well aware that you're friends of his. Actually, I'm here to pass along a message from him. Yes, inside the Opera House. The Maréchaussée Phantom...
A riot?
Well, that said, I don't personally think it was that serious. Lady Farina was watching a performance at the Opera House, and while she was resting, loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophecy crisis.
No sé si eso es parte del plan.
And before she could respond, others started to join in. The crowd continued to grow and protest against the Hydro Archon.
So people have started to put the blame on Farina. Guess they finally found...
I agree. People will naturally rely on gods, as is customary. But the moment people feel threatened, gods are also the first to be blamed.
So what happened after that? Is Farina okay?
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control and that further argument was pointless, the Maréchaussée Phantom had their hands full maintaining order and did not catch where Lady Farina had gone. Only when...
So, you mean she's still missing?
That's right. The Maréchaussée has dispatched many people to search for her, but we don't have any lead. That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. She is a god after all. Even if she were to fall into the hands of rioters, what could... Good. Monsieur Neuvillette sent me to tell you about the situation, but he didn't say anything else.
Don't worry. This is more than enough to go on. Thanks for keeping us informed.
Ah, is that so?
La cara de Paimon, soy muy fan de ella, tío.
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then.
Poisson.
If we know Farina, she won't try to fix things in this situation. Instead, she'll look for a place to wait out the heat. And, as we also know, she may be loud and dramatic, but she doesn't have a heart of stone. When Neuvillette was talking to her in the Palais Mermonia, and she heard about Poisson, she couldn't hide her sadness and remorse. It would be hard for her to ignore being accused by the public today. Paimon thinks Farina's probably taken the opportunity to slip away to Poisson and try to relieve the sense of guilt that she's feeling. Huh. Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer, of course, but Paimon can do the announcement. In that case, there's not a moment to lose.
Dime que sí.
Poisson, here we come.
Decirme esto sí, hacerme spoiler. ¿Paimon se vuelve a poner las gafas? ¿Sí o no? Vale, vamos a cambiar de capítulo entonces. Y nada, gente, se viene el juicio con Furina. Espero. Bueno, me habéis dicho que sí, ¿no? Que venía un juicio con Furina. Y yo creo que ya mismo, ¿no? Que ahora viene lo chido. No sé, yo no me acuerdo. Ay, decirme eso. Bueno, gracias, cartones. Todo es que se viene lo bueno. Se viene lo bueno. Bueno, eso. Nos vemos en el siguiente vídeo. Muchísimas gracias por llegar a ese equipo y ver el vídeo. Y no te olvides de darle like y suscribirte para el próximo capítulo. Nos vemos en el siguiente vídeo. Gracias.